Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome once again to Sri Nityananda Trayodashi celebration. Thank you all very much for coming. Now, the next part of the program is class by His Grace, Hari Candana Prabhu. A few words about Prabhu. Prabhu is amazing at cooking. He's the cooking lead for the big festivals. For Janmashtami last year, he cooked along with the other devotees for 10,000 people for 3 days. And Prabhu does many other services. One of the other main primary is preaching at UT Austin. Prabhu is a huge support for Satyasara Prabhu and Jai Subhadra Mataji. Prabhu does a menial service, which is he cleans the bathroom every Saturday. Thank you, Prabhu. And Prabhu also does fundraising and cooking services, many, many services. And today he's giving the class. So with that, let us welcome Prabhu by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra one time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Over to you, Prabhu.
Okay, Hare Krishna devotees. Thank you, Veena Mataji. I don't know how much of that I deserve, but thank you so much. And then, yeah, I would like to start by thanking Satyasara Prabhu and I don't know, Mataji. Jai Subhadra Mataji. Thank you so much. Even I'm not qualified. You gave me this opportunity to give a class on Nityananda Trayodashi. I'll still, even I'm not qualified, I'll still try to do it for my own purification. And thank you, John, for coming. So, just sit, I would say, just relax. And then I welcome all the devotees to this Monday evening. I know it's tough to come on a weekday, but thank you so much for coming. We are very honored and grateful to have you all here. We'll start by Jai Radha Madhav. We'll do a short kirtan. You can take the big bit. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jai Radha Kunja Bihari.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jai Radha Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana.
Yashodaranjana Braja Jana Ranjana.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Unatira Vanachari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Unatira.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. So, on the occasion of Nityananda Trayodashi, we will read from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 5, verse 1. If you have a smartphone, you can pull up vedabase.com and you can go to Chaitanya Charitamrita section, Adi Leela, chapter 5 and verse 1. Is everyone ready? So I'll start and then you can repeat after me. CC Adi 5.1. 5.1. If you type CC Adi 5.1, it should come up directly, or you can go to vedabase.com as well. Okay. Vande Ananta Bhutaishwaryam Sri Nityanandam Ishwaram Yasyaichaya Tatswarupam Ajnainapi Nirupyate. Vande Ananta Bhutaishwaryam Sri Nityanandam Ishwaram Yasyaichaya Tatswarupam Ajnainapi Nirupyate. Vande Ananta Bhutaishwaryam Sri Nityanandam Ishwaram Yasyaichaya Tatswarupam Ajnainapi Nirupyate. Anyone would like to read the translation?
Is wonderful and unlimited. By his will, even a fool can.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Sopadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Shri Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता श्रीराकांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्रीराधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखम करोति वाचालं पंगुम लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानंदं माधवम्। Okay. I just hope and pray to all the assembled Vaishnavas to please bless and shower your best wishes so that the right words come at the right time and in the right mood. So please, thank you so much. So it is described that Sri Balramji's first expansion is from Krishna, right? Krishna's, and the scriptures reveal that this personality Balram is totally non-different from Krishna, right? Some places it has been described as like Shandini Shakti or existence potency of Krishna. Some places it is described that he appears before Krishna. Some places it describes that he's the head of the Guru Tattva. But the scriptures unanimously, right? They unanimously proclaim that although he is the first expansion of Krishna's body, he is totally non-different from Krishna. There is no difference between Balram and Krishna, right? See, Balramji possesses all the opulences, all the qualities, all the potencies that Krishna possesses in equal, unlimited and inconceivable, right? But our Acharya Srila Prabhupada explains that there are two major differences. In principle, there are two differences between Krishna and Balram. Anyone want to take a guess at the first one? Okay. So what are they? That's okay. Okay. And
Balaram is white.
wonderful. Good. Thank you. So Srila Prabhupada just says that Krishna has a beautiful, as Samanvita explained, Krishna has a beautiful, wonderful complexion of a freshly formed monsoon cloud, right? Megha Shyam, or Varn, right? So Krishna is bluish black, as said by Samanvita. And Balramji has a complexion of newly formed spring cloud. So that's why it's a white complexion, right? This is the first difference. Anyone on the second difference? Go ahead.
Clothes.
Nice, yeah.
Like Balaram wears blue and Krishna wears yellow.
Nice, nice, good. Anyone else? Nice, nice. So these are all external things. Let's try to go internal. You want to say something, Madhva? Last one. Okay. Okay. So I'll say, or I won't say, but what the scriptures say. The second difference is in their mood. Okay. So Krishna and Balram are non-different, right? In their potency, in their abilities, in their qualities, in their opulences, in their beauty they possess, the strength they possess, and renunciation, wealth, totally, all those 6 things. They possess everything equally. But there is one fundamental difference in the mood between Krishna and Balram. So Krishna, so listen this carefully. Krishna is the supreme personality of the Godhead in the mood of accepting the service. But Sri Balramji is the supreme personality of Godhead in the mood of offering the service. Okay, so that's the difference in their mood. Like Krishna accepts the service and Sri Balramji offers the service. So the Supreme Lord manifests as Balramji as the first expansion to teach us how to express love through service. Right? And it is inconceivable the way Balram does it, right? As described in scriptures, even in our Vrindavan pastimes, it's very inconceivable to understand it. And this Balram comes in every yuga, as you all know, right? In Treta Yuga, he came as a Lakshman, right? But all same, in mood of service, to serve Lord Ram and Sita, right? The scriptures have revealed that a chaste wife has to follow the footsteps of the husband. But nowhere in the scriptures, there is it is said that a brother has to follow elder brother, right? But Lakshmana did everything to take care of Mother Sita and Lord Ram in every way possible, right? He took care of them very nicely when they were in exile, right? And whenever they were not in exile as well, right? He was always in the mood of service to serve Ram and Sita all the time, right? And then he performed a lot of service to make sure they are in comfort and there is nothing that can go wrong and whatnot. And he used to be ahead of them. Like whatever Ram used to do, he used to think before that, and he used to arrange things and whatnot. Right? You all know. I don't want to go in details and whatnot. In Dwapar Yuga, Balram comes as Balram. Sorry. So it is also said in scriptures that Balram, he manifested himself as Vrindavan, the land of Vrindavan, right? The holy abode, the land which held the pastimes of Krishna. It is described that Lord Balram expands as Vrindavan in such a way and in such a wonderful, incredible fashion that sometimes when baby Krishna sees a demon and demon is trying to come close, Lord Balram expands the land of Vrindavan, so the distance between the demon and baby Krishna expands, and that's how he serves Krishna, right? Trying to distance. And sometimes when Krishna is very hungry, or Krishna is remembering Mother Yashoda, so Lord Balram contracts the land so that the distance between Mother Yashoda and Krishna becomes shorter, so that he can reach to Mother Yashoda quick. Inconceivable, right? Like this, our material understanding won't make sense. Won't understand these things. But anyways, he also serves Krishna in all the rasas. Like he becomes the peacock feather, he becomes the pitambari, he becomes the necklace, he becomes the flower garland, right? All the paraphernalias of Krishna. And he's ready to massage Krishna's feet as well sometimes. But also he's also willing to shout at him if he goes and breaks the pot to go steal some butter, right? He's also in that mood as well. That is also a mood of service. It's a different rasa though, right? And he also used to frighten him that he will let Mother Yashoda know what he did and what not, so that he also tries to keep Krishna in check at the same time, right? Also, when the Lord decides to take rest, Balramji becomes the bed as Ananta. Like when Mahavishnu tries to rest, he becomes like Anantashesh, right? When Mahavishnu feels cold, he doesn't feel cold, but he becomes hot. Like this is a mood of service. When Mahavishnu feels hot, he becomes cold. Nowadays, there are mattresses that do that. I don't know if you all know that. But anyways, there was an office close to my previous work. John knows about it. But anyways, yeah, they do something similar. But we had this concept before since ages. But anyways, so he serves Mahavishnu as Ananta, Ram as Lakshmana, Krishna as Balram. And when this Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the origin of all origin, the cause of all causes, the masters of all master, the creator of all creator, the source of everything that exists, that doesn't exist, when he desires to come to this degraded age of Kali on his own sweet will, no one can actually force him to come or not come, right? He decides. He's the master of his own. So, and he's the embodiment of all unlimited compassion, right? And that he desires to enter the age of Kali Yuga in the most wonderful, in the most magnanimous, in the most sweetest, in the most munificent, wonderfully compassionate form as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki. So this direct expansion, Sri Balramji, non-different from Krishna, manifests in the spirit of perfect servant as Nityananda. So that's what we are celebrating today, is Nityananda's appearance day. So this also confirms that Nityananda is none other than Lord Balram, right? So Nityananda Prabhu is teaching us. He's the he who is the source of everything animate, inanimate, everything material, spiritual that exists, doesn't exist. Is the source, cause, and everything. He talks about Krishna, and he possesses everything. And Nityananda Prabhu says that his only will is to just take care of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and follow his order and take care of him, right? And Nityananda Prabhu only believes that that is the only thing that exists in the world, is to serve Krishna, is to chant Krishna, right? All the time. And so this is just like a small introduction. I would like to touch base on a very less known fact about Nityananda Prabhu. And I don't know if I'll do a good job, but I'll try my best. So Nityananda Prabhu, I don't know if you all know, is also called Avdhut Shiromani, the crest jewel of Avdhutas, right? Because of his transcendental nature and unconventional behavior and the deep renunciation that he had, right? And just to give a definition of Avadhuta, is one who is completely beyond social norms, right? And material consideration, right? He's not at all attached to anything material, and only thing he knows is about Krishna. It's like a horse, right? Like horse, they put something so that he can go straight. So with Nityanand Prabhu, it was something just Krishna. So he looks here, there, everything was Krishna for him, right? And they are completely absorbed in Krishna's love, right? Um, so Nityananda Prabhu, as the expansion of Lord Balram, exhibited this supreme state of spiritual ecstasy and boundless mercy, and that's why he's also called Avduta. So there are, like, I grouped into 4 different points of Chaitanya Nityananda Prabhu on why he is called Avdut, and trying to add some pastimes to it and trying to prove it through scriptures. So first point is he was beyond material dualities. The very first point. Um, so Nityananda Prabhu was, as I said, he was detached from uh, material concerns and unaffected by any social norms or circumstances or anything. Right? He roamed very freely, absorbed in the divine ecstasy. As you all know, that he went door to door preaching Krishna, about Krishna and whatnot, and unconcerned, and he didn't really care about social norms. Um, in Chaitanya Chaitamrita Adi Lila in 5.89, it said that Sri Nityananda Chandera Avdut Vesha Prema Matta Nitya Krida Nahi Dhaira Lesha. Right? It says Lord Nityananda is the dress of an Avdut, is always overwhelmed with ecstatic love. He is constantly engaged in divine pastimes with not a trace of mundane gravity. And then again in Madhyalila, it says Nityananda Avadhuta Shuddha Prema Shindu Bhava Vesha Na Jane Anga Vyavahara Bindu. So it says Nityananda Prabhu is an Avadhut, an ocean of pure love of God. In deep ecstatic absorption, he is completely unaware of his own bodily condition. Right? So in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is described that the devotees are of different types, majorly 3 types we call, like Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama, right? So we'll just go through the definitions of them real quick and see where Nityananda Prabhu is in that. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, it says, Archayam eva haraye pujam ye shraddhayate na tad bhakteshu chanyeshu sabhakta prakrita smrita. So here a devotee is defined saying that he worships the Lord, but he doesn't respect the devotee. He will worship the Lord, but he won't respect the devotees. Basically, he just knows Krishna and that's it, and he will be very disrespectful to humans or anyone. And so it says a devotee who faithfully engages in the worship of the deity in the temple but does not behave properly toward other devotees or people in general is called Prakrita Bhakta or Kanishtadhikari, right? A materialistic devotee as well, and is considered in the lowest in the position. Okay, and let's go to, this was Kanisht, like he only worships Krishna and he doesn't respect anyone. Like he does his job and then leaves, right? And then now let's come to Madhyama Adhikari, and these are like sadhana bhakti stages, right? So it says Ishwara tad adhineshu balisheshu dvisatutsha prema maitri kipopaksha ya karoti sa madhyama. So here he has the qualities of Kanishta, minus not respecting. So he will worship the Supreme Lord. He will be friendly to the devotees. He will be merciful. So there are 4 qualities it's mentioned. He will be merciful to the ignorant people and will disregard the envious people, right? People who are envious to Krishna, he will probably disregard him. Like he won't disrespect them, but basically say keep like a arm's length away. He will be maintaining distance. He knows what his priorities are in life, kind of thing, right? and where to spend his energy. So the translation in Srimad Bhagavatam is given as an intermediate or second class devotee. It's called Madhyamadhikari. Called Madhyamadhikari, offers his love to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is a sincere friend to all the devotees to the Lord, shows mercy to ignorant people who are innocent, and disregards those who are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that was Madhyamadhikari. He worships the Supreme Lord, friendly to the devotees, merciful to the ignorant people, and disregards the envious people. So that was Madhyamadhikari. Now, Uttamadhikari. Uttamadhikari are always on the bhava or the prema stage of bhakti. So I'll also come to different stages of bhakti in little bit later in the class. I'm just telling where exactly it falls. But yeah, in Srimad Bhagavatam it says, Sarva bhuteshu yapashed bhagavad bhavam atmana bhutani bhagavad atmanye esha bhagavato uttama. Basically, the definition is he sees the Lord everywhere. In every living, non-living, everything he sees the Lord. Right? There is no envious, there is no hatred, nothing. He sees everything is Krishna. So it says that, and then in Bhagavad Gita 10.9, Krishna says, right? Machitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantasya mam nityam tushyanti cha remanti cha. So thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So this is the most advanced stage of devotion and most advanced devotee, right? So the most advanced devotee sees within everything the soul of all souls, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. Consequently, he sees everything in relation to Supreme Lord, right? And understands that everything that exists eternally situated within the Lord. So he also connects everything with the Lord, right? Somehow or the other. So what do you think? Where does Lord Nityananda stands? Huh? At least right now, where does he stand? Let's see. Uttama. Nice. Yeah. So, so because this is very, and this is not a very social norm, right? People, we as a, like I especially, I cannot say we, I as a sadhana bhakta, we try to get better and better, but we cannot, I cannot get up to the pure service. But Nityananda Prabhu was always in the deep ecstasy and absorption, and he was completely unaware of bodily conservation. And that's what the Uttamadhikari stage is, where they don't think anything except Krishna, and they relate everything with Krishna. So that's the first point I was trying to make, that he is beyond material dualities, right? And the Srimad Bhagavatam also proves that. And then the second point I would like to make is his devotion was very unorthodox and spontaneous, right? Unlike traditional like renunciates who strictly follow some external rules, like we have sannyasis, or we like there was Mahakumbh and whatnot right now. I don't know how much they followed, but sannyasis, they don't try to go close to a woman, or even for men, they try to be clean and all that. Like they try to follow some norm and whatnot. But there was nothing as such in Nityananda Prabhu. And he exhibited an ecstatic, unconventional style of devotion. He would dance, sing, and distribute love of God without any hesitation, breaking all barriers. So we did Aarti and we did dance and whatnot. So everything that we are doing right now basically came from Nityananda Prabhu. So it's a mercy coming from Nityananda Prabhu that we are experiencing today. Yes, through Prabhupada is one who set the platform for us and whatnot. But still, so Nityananda Prabhu's was, the bhakti was very unorthodox and very spontaneous. In Chaitanya Charitamrita it says, Avadhuta Shiromani Sri Nityananda Raya. Sri Nityananda Raya is quest jewel of the Avadhutas. So there are two type of bhakti. One is sadhana bhakti and then bhava bhakti. So the sadhana bhakti is basically engagement of our material mind and senses in the service of the Lord in such a way that we get to bhava bhakti. So there's a difference between sadhana and bhava, right? So in sadhana bhakti, we engage our material senses and whatnot to engage in service of the Lord so that we can get to Bhava Bhakti, and an engagement can be like chanting, doing service at the temple and whatnot. Uh, and then Bhava Bhakti is the result of the engagement of that material senses, which makes our senses more spiritual, and it's below our materials. It becomes below our material senses, and things happen at the spiritual platform when you come to a Bhava Bhakti. And we no longer engage in our material senses for the service. It automatically, we just get conditioned automatically to do that service, right? No, like our material senses, our tired material senses won't come in between. Basically, you'll always be willing to do that service from your heart, and there is no no one stopping you at that point, even your senses. So so there are different stages of bhakti that Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Ratsamrita Sindhu describes. So it basically says ado shraddha tato sadhu sango atha bhaja kriya tato nartha nivritta syat tato nishtha ruchis tatha ata sakti tato bhavas tatha prema buddhanchati sadhakanam ayam premna pradurbhave bhavet krama. So the stages he describes are like Shraddha. The very first stage is Shraddha, that we should have faith. We should start with faith. Like it will always start with faith, right? And then once you start faith, you'll start inquiring, and then you go in association. That's where the Sadhu Sangha comes in. From Sadhu Sangha, you will take part, you'll work, you'll be with them in the association, you'll start doing bhajan with them. Then comes the stage of anartha nivritti, and then you will be dedicated, you'll have nishtha, you'll work on nishtha. And that's the stage when you actually develop the ruchi, the taste. So after 1, 2, 3, 4. So after 4 stages of Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, then, and Nishtha, sorry, 5 stage, then Ruchi comes. So sometimes I think that, oh, I love God, oh, I have a lot of Ruchi, but then I look at this and I'm like, okay, maybe not. So I always have to recalibrate myself with this verse. And by the way, this has been taken from a class by Satyasar Prabhu. So in one of the class, so that's why I'm trying to quote this, because it's nice to know all these things. But and then Ruchi and then Asakti, we basically are like, get very engaged with. I forgot I'm spacing the word for Asakti. We'll be very dependent on it, and we cannot be detached with Krishna at that stage. And that's after that we develop bhava. That's the time where we develop bhava, and then from bhava we come to prema stage, right? In Bhagavad Gita it says yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sa cha mena pranashyati. So for one who sees me everywhere, sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is ever lost to me. That's what Krishna says, right? So to specifically say, this stage is also described as Raganuga Bhakti by our acharyas, right? This is, and Raganuga Bhakti, just to define in short, it's like a path of spontaneous devotion, but where a devotee longs to serve Krishna, but in the mood of Brajvasi, right? And it is a natural evolution from Vaidhi Bhakti, where Vaidhi Bhakti is basically Raganuga Bhakti, or Raganuga Bhakti is Vaidhi Bhakti plus no rules. Vaidhi Bhakti is you try to be in certain boundaries when you're performing some rituals and all this kind of stuff. But this one, you're not under any rule or anything in Raganuga Bhakti. But that doesn't mean you can do anything. That's why Srila Prabhupada never promoted that. Because there is a very thin line between Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti, and people can imitate or make things up and whatnot. So that's why Srila Prabhupada never proposed. But Gaudiya philosophy does have the Raganuga Bhakti as a core principle as well. And looking at Nityananda Prabhu, the things he did, the pastimes he did, so he totally falls under this, where he was totally under prema stage, at the last stage of bhakti, right? Because he was always going and preaching about Krishna, and he was always loving people to give, and he was always curious to give Krishna to people, like preach about Krishna, and he was always in that stage, right? So he crossed all those stages and came to prema stage. So that was the second point. Third point I want to talk about is he had supreme compassion and mercy. Nityananda Prabhu's mercy was unparalleled, as you know, because in this age of Kali, he's going and giving the name of Krishna to us, right? And then he also forgave and delivered a lot of sinful souls, and you probably might know the sinful souls that I'm talking about, or the most famous sinful soul. Do you know who? Jagai and Madai. Okay. So I just want to make sure no one is sleeping. So that's why I'm asking questions here and there. And and without considering their offenses, right? Even they did bad to him. He didn't he didn't take that to heart or something like that, right? So I'll just go through Jagai Madai pastime real quick, and then so that I don't know if everyone knows here. So I'll just rush through it, and then and then we'll see what lessons can we learn and how it applies to Nityananda Prabhu. So Jagai and Madai were two extremely sinful brothers in Navadvipa. Even though born in Brahmana family, they were doing all the things non-Brahmanical, right? They were drinking, violence and whatnot, robbery, chastising people, and things that we cannot talk about. And then what this did is basically in Navadvipa, it made people feared from them, and the society was little it used to hate them, which makes sense, right? Like we don't like people who steal and all those kind of stuff. So one day what happened, Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, they were preaching the holy names of Krishna, and then they encountered Jagai and Madai, and they were doing their notorious thing, and Nityananda Prabhu, filled with mercy, he approached them. Like, if I am preaching, like we go to book distribution sometimes, if we see someone drunk or not in proper clothes even, we don't try to approach them, right? Or our preference is to actually go approach Indian people, right? We try to go there. But Nityananda, out of this mercy, he approached them, right? Because he is in that prema bhakti, because he's seeing everyone, he's seeing Krishna in everyone, right? So he went there, and he requested them to chant Krishna's name. And Madai, he got enraged, and he basically he had a clay pot in his hand, and he threw that on Nityananda Prabhu's towards Nityananda Prabhu, and hit his forehead, and then it was bleeding. But then if someone tries to do that, I'll probably go and hit him back. But Nityananda Prabhu didn't do that. He basically he went back instead of retaliating, he went back to him, and he said, he pleaded, please chant Krishna. He actually pleaded in front of them. And then seeing this, Jagai had a change in heart, right? And stopped Madai from attacking further, right? So Madai was almost at a point where he was about to attack again. But then first time he approached, he hit him. Second time Nityananda Prabhu approached, Jagai heart melted. So in two approaches, at least 50% of the task is done, right? Now we have to see another 50% where what happens. But hearing about the incident, what happened, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to the place, and then he invoked the Sudarshan Chakra, right, to kill the two brothers. But then Nityananda Prabhu, out of compassion, intervened and saying that this is not the incarnation to kill. This incarnation is to deliver, right? He requested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to take the Sudarshan Chakra back and not do this. And seeing this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forgave and granted Krishna Prema to Jagai and Madai. And Madai, realizing this sins, fell Nityananda Prabhu's feet. Now Madai is like, oh, I was about to die, but Nityananda Prabhu saved me. So he fell on Nityananda Prabhu's feet. And then what did Nityananda Prabhu say? He didn't kick him off. He said, because he's filled with a lot of compassion, he forgave him. And both brothers became great devotees. and they're spending their life in devotion and service, right? They become very good devotees after that incident. Um, and then in Charitamrita says, Sabai Nityananda Kripa Poile Jagai, Madai Poile se Nityananda Ashraya. So by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, Jagai was delivered, and Madai also took the shelter of lotus feet. And then Jagai Madai Paramo Adhama Jila Toha Uddharila Nityananda Mahabola. Jagai and Madai were the most degraded, but Nityananda Prabhu, who possesses immense power, delivered them, right? So even they were very sinful, Nityananda Prabhu still delivered them, right? Out of his compassion and mercy. So even those who simply receive this mercy are free from all, like, I was thinking like, oh, I should have been a Jagaya Madai. I would have delivered. I should have not come here. But it was so easy to just come under Nityananda Prabhu's feet at that time. But anyways, we'll do our coursework here as well and go, hopefully. And then, so from this pastimes, I was trying to go through and see what we can learn from here, right? So one of the thing that one of the thing, so I came out with 4 points. So forgiveness is the greatest strength. So that's what I learned, because if Nityananda Prabhu might have not forgiven him, he might have continued what they were doing. They might have been continuing what they were doing. That doesn't help. That is not delivering them to Krishna, or that is not the most supreme thing that they can get. So I think forgiveness is the greatest strength. So I think in our day-to-day life, I can try to be more forgiving, I guess, if certain incident happen, but still under certain boundaries, we have to make sure. And then the second thing I came out of is tolerate for achieving higher goals. So Nityananda Prabhu, when he was stuck with on first time, he tolerated that. He tolerated that bleeding. He tolerated that pain, because he knew that my pain is smaller than delivering him to Krishna. He was always thinking of the higher goal, right? So tolerate is one thing that I want to get take out of this as well. Like during temple service as well, we try to work together and whatnot. And because our bodies are conditioned with our previous life and whatnot, there will be differences between when we work together at temple. So we should learn to tolerate, so that we work together nicely and serve the higher purpose, is to serve Radha and Krishna, right? Instead of getting into a fight or debating and whatnot, we should tolerate things that are happening, and the higher purpose is to serve Krishna, to make temple for Krishna and whatnot. And that's what I got. Second point, to tolerate. Chanting the holy name can even transform the worst sinners. So I don't know if you all know what happened to Jagai Madai after this. Does anyone know after this what happened to Jagai and Madai? Yeah. Nice. So yeah, so they started chanting, and they started cleaning the banks of Ganga so people can come and take bath, and they started distributing prasadam to people. So something similar, they started the preaching process, and they were delivered, right? So the chanting holy names can even transform the worst sinners, right? And that's why we should always chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then Lord Chaitanya's, and then the fourth thing, which is also important, is Lord Chaitanya's mission is to deliver and not destroy. So what we are doing here is that we are trying to get delivered to Krishna. So go to Krishna, go back to Godhead, right? So these are 4 things I came out from Jagai Madai pastime. And then coming back to the Avadut Shiromani, the last point I would like to make is that he is the deliverer of the most fallen, right? As we all know, the Kali Yuga, the age, the dark age, we are the most fallen and sinful. But coming in this age, and he's giving the divine love of Krishna and helping us to chant and whatnot, so that we can get delivered, right? What is best than that? What's the best gift we can get in Kali Yuga, right? and then he engaged everyone in congregational chanting and going and preaching and whatnot, which is what again through Srila Prabhupada's platform we are doing it, right? It's all the source is Nityananda Prabhu, right? And then his embodiment of mercy, and in this age of darkness, he does not see anyone unqualified, right? He saw everyone, he saw Krishna in everyone, and he simply floods them with Krishna's love. So he preached Krishna's name to everyone without discrimination. He forgave and uplifted even violent sinners like Jagai and Madai. He went house to house begging people to chant Krishna's name. He shattered religious and social barriers to deliver fallen souls. His mercy is so powerful that even Mahaprabhu's mercy flows through him. Even someone I think asked who is more merciful, I think in some class, right? Last week. Did you ask that? Ira, right? You asked, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sure. You asked who is kind. Yes. So, Nityanand Prabhu is more kind, right? And as we all know, in the pastime, Jagai Madai pastime, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu invoked the Sudarshan Chakra, and but Nityanand Prabhu pleaded to not use that and instead deliver them, right? So basically, so just summarizing, so he's beyond material dualities. His bhakti is unorthodox or spontaneous, right? And he has supreme compassion and mercy that he showed through Jagai Madai pastime. And then he's the deliverer of most fallen in the age of Kali Yuga. So these four things, and with the Vedic verses as well combined, that kind of proves that he's Avdut Shiromani, and he's in the highest state of transcendental spiritual transcendence, right? And completely away from the material consideration. And then, so if we see, Nityananda Prabhu is the best example of how to do bhakti, right? As described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sarvopadi Vinurmuktam Tat Paratvena Nirmalam Hrishikesha Rishikena Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. So I'll just read the translation. Bhakti or devotional service means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of all the senses. When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are two side effects. One is freed from all material designation, and one's senses are purified simply by being employed in the service of the Lord. Here we can totally see how Nityananda Prabhu was always engaged in serving Krishna, serving Lord Chaitanya, preaching Krishna, preaching about Krishna and glorifying him, right? He was away from all material designation. And there is always, we can always pray to Nityananda Prabhu that give us 0.0001% of what you did so that we can do something similar, right? And then I know in this material world it will be very difficult to do all this as we have work and all this kind of stuff, but always we can have that mood of like serving Krishna, or how I can serve better, how I can serve better in the temple, what are other services I can take, and be engaged. Like we have to go to work no matter what, like we have to earn so that we can live, but we can purify that earning by doing service to Krishna, using that money to maybe build temple and all those kind of stuff, right? And then also pray to Nityananda Prabhu to give some mercy to us so that we can be in that, we can progress in that platform of the Prema Bhakti stage, right? So Lord Balaram, Lord Krishna appeared, as you know, as Lord Nityananda, and then he was born in a small town, in a village in Bengal called Ekachakra. Has anyone been there? Ekachakra? Yeah. So I've never been there, so I'm just curious. I was just curious how. And then he was born to a Brahmana family, Hadai Pandit and Padmavati, right? And they were very nice Brahman family, and they gave birth to Nityananda Prabhu. When Nityananda Prabhu was small kid, he used to do a lot of pastimes related to Lord Rama and Krishna, and even the people in the villages were stunned by seeing the details he used to perform those pastimes. And the people in the village knew that something is different about this kid, and they were about to witness a lot of good things that it was going to happen in Bengal through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's preaching and whatnot. But one day, so he stayed in Ekachakra for 12 years, and one day a traveling sannyasi, went to Hadai Pandit and Padmavati Mataji's place, and he asked if he can take Nitai as a companion and as a assistant to go around the temples in India. But Hadai Pandit was heartbroken to listen to that. Like I cannot give my kids to anyone, right? But this is the Vedic culture in India, right? At that point, they, like, if a sannyasi comes to your place and he asks for something, we have to give it no matter what, right? So with a very heavy heart, Hadai Pandit and Padmavati Mataji decided to give the Nitai. And then Nitai went all around India, just visiting temples and whatnot. And then Hadai Pandit and Padmavati Mataji basically did a fast, and they never ate after that, just because they were feeling a lot of separation from Nitai, and they didn't want it to. And they every second they were thinking about Nitai, if he will be good and whatnot. And eventually, in 3 months, they left their body, just thinking about Nityananda, and they were delivered. But Nityananda Prabhu went all around the temples, and then he finally came to Vrindavan, and then he was waiting for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to come. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't come there, but somehow he came to know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Navadvipa, and then he started walking towards Navadvip, and then he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Navadvip. So that's how I just wanted to keep this short. And then I wanted to talk about Guru Tattva real quick, and then we'll probably call it good, right? And then maybe take some questions if possible. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, there is a shlok, Guru Karunika Sakshad Ishwaro Anugraham Para Mad Bhavam Darshayan Shanto Nanya Te Vanchati Priya. The spiritual master is the most merciful and direct representative of the Supreme Lord. His supreme mercy lies in revealing the true nature of the Lord to his disciple. He is completely peaceful and desires nothing other than the ultimate welfare of his dear disciples. So we'll try to see how it relates to Nityananda Prabhu and the Guru Tattva, right? So it says Guru Karunika Sakshat Ishwara Anugrah Para. So Karunika, so he's the most merciful. So Nityananda Prabhu is the most merciful Guru. And then it says, and it's Sakshat Ishwara. So he's the direct Supreme Lord, because we at the start of the class we said the Lord Balram is Nityananda Prabhu is none other than Lord Balram, right? And the first expansion of Krishna. And then his entire mission is to distribute Krishna's mercy to the fallen souls in the Kali Yuga. So that's where the Karunika Sakshat Ishwaro Anugraham Para it comes, right? He's most merciful, and he's the Supreme Lord, right? And then the next line is Mad Bhavam Darshayam. Mad Bhavam Darshayam. So the Guru's main duty is to reveal the nature of Krishna, right? By his preaching. So Nityananda Prabhu personally spread the message of Lord Chaitanya, who is Krishna himself. Without his mercy, one cannot understand Krishna, right? So that's where he guided people towards Krishna through Lord Chaitanya, right? So that was that's actually the third line of the shlok. Mad Bhavam Darshayan Shanta. And then in Chaitanya Charitamrita it says Nityananda Prabhu is the Guru of the entire universe, and without his mercy, no one can attain Krishna. And then there is another line in the shloka. It says Nanyate Vanchati Priya, right? Nanyate Vanchati Priya. So what does that mean? He had unparalleled compassion towards the fallen souls, right? A true Guru desires disciples' welfare and never have his own material benefit, right? And Nityananda Prabhu, as we saw through the pastimes and his qualities that he never cared about his own prestige. He humbly went to door and preached and whatnot, and he loved the fallen souls so deeply, and he begged Jagai and Madai to surrender, right? And then the fourth point I would like to make is the tolerance. Again, the Nityanand supreme tolerance, Shanta. He's also very peaceful in key qualification, and that's a very key qualification of the Guru. Despite being mocked and beaten by Jagai and Madai, and he forgave that. So, and then um, because um, because Lord Balram expands as Nityanand Prabhu, who then empowers all genuine gurus, the bona fide spiritual master is considered to be representative of Nityananda Prabhu. Anyone who serves Nityananda Prabhu is automatically accepted by Krishna. So this verse is giving the qualities of the Guru, and those all qualities are basically shown by Nityananda Prabhu. And because he's also like coming from Balram, so he's also a Guru Tattva, and he's the supreme Guru that we should all worship or pray on his feet to give us mercy, right? Uh, and then let's see, and then accepting. And by the way, this is 10.2.31 Srimad Bhagavatam, if you are interested. And then and that's what we and this is the conclusion, that we have to accept Nityananda Prabhu to be as a Guru Tattva and always be praying to him, and again through our Guru as well, right? We cannot directly go to them. We have to go through our Guru, but he's the ultimate Guru and the well-wisher for us, and then he's the one who will help us get delivered through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and go to Krishna. So trying to follow that reflection. I would like to quote one more verse on this Guru Tattva real quick. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sango Pangastre Parshadam Yajne Sankirtana Prayer Yajantihi Su Medasa. So it says, in the age of Kali, the Supreme Lord appears in golden form, constantly chanting the name of Krishna. He's accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Those who are intelligent worship him through the sacrifice of congregational chanting of the holy name. So if we read between the lines, it's none other than Nityananda Prabhu they are talking about. And this is Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So, Nityananda Prabhu was associate. So it says, right, associate of Mahaprabhu. So, Sango Pastre Parshadam, right? Distributing the Krishna's mercy as a Guru, like that's a yajna that we are doing. And then Balram is the strength of the spiritual advancement. And then Nityananda Prabhu also represented the Sankirtan movement, and he actually is the one who kind of started and going and preaching. So this also says that Nityananda Prabhu is our supreme Guru that we have to go approach and whatnot. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam quoting. Sorry, I just rushed through. There was a lot to talk, but I just rushed through it. I felt that this was important, but I'll put all the key points in our WhatsApp group. And then it also says that where do we get all this strength to perform all the spiritual activities? So as we know that Nityananda Prabhu is incarnation of Balaram, so that's where the bal comes from. The Balaram bal also means strength, but Prabhupada clearly mentions that strength is spiritual and not just like a bodily strength to go eat and lift weights and all those kind of stuff. That strength is spiritual strength. Well, you can still lift the weights if you want, like trying to be in shape, but don't try to use that strength for bhakti. That won't work. So there is a disconnect there. But this strength is the strength for the spiritual strength that we can make progress, and that's where Balram comes in. And because Nityananda is incarnation, so that's why we can pray to Nityananda Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, for that strength, so that we can develop bhakti and make progress in this life, and probably go back to Godhead if possible. And then I would like to. So today is the appearance. I would like to conclude now. So today is Nityanand Prabhu's appearance. We shall kindly, because now we have concluded that he's very merciful. He's also Guru Tattva, so we should always worship on his feet, like give us more service, or uh, take out all the bad things that I have inside me, so that I can make more progress in bhakti, and then um, and then try to serve Guru Parampara, and then serve Radha Krishna through our Guru Parampara, and go back home, back to Godhead. Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll keep question. I guess if I'm not able to answer, don't judge me. I'm a Kanishta Adhikari, so.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So I have one reflection and I have one question. So after you saying Jagai and Madai, how he is so munificent, when you are saying that it is true, actually there are the offenses in Krishna book, or Srila Prabhupada mentioned that 3 types of offenses. One is at mind, another one is words, third one is the physical.
Yes.
So the intensity is more when it is come words and physical. So physical is the highest. Though he is the Lord himself, if that is the highest offense one could do, and he did it, so he pardoned it. So that is what the munificent.
Yeah.
In Krishna would have been give left and right long back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is one good. So that is what Nityananda Prabhu is so munificent. I have another 2-3 reflections also, but I can share offline. So wonderful class. So question is, Prabhu, so Nityananda Prabhu, his like mood is like what, preaching, or so how we can please Nityananda by do service to the deities, or like doing preaching service, or what? I'm not clear on that, Prabhu.
I think what well, I'll give what I know, and then Prabhuji can take it from there. So, as I said, his only thing was just to chant Krishna, chant about Krishna, preach about Krishna, and surrender to Krishna. So, whatever activity you do, if it comes under these 3 things, so I think you're doing right thing, right? So, if you're doing deity worship or doing chanting, if it comes under all these 3, so I think you're on the right track, at least according to me. So there is not like, oh, do more of this or more of that. I think there has to be balance, right? We have a lot of services at the temple as well, so we have to keep doing, and then as we keep doing, like we have to have that bhava as well. So the Paramatma from within will also speak. Oh, Satarupa, maybe you can take this, or even temple management or Satya, or temple management can take care of that as well, right? Or you go talk to them in confidence, like, oh, this is what I'm thinking, so I can make progress here. Should I make progress here? And they can guide you as well, right? So my takeaway is just, if it falls under those 3 categories, chanting, preaching, and surrendering, all 3 to Krishna. If all those 3, whatever you want to do more, if it falls under these 3, it can you can do it. But if you want to do more or less, you can always talk to your temple management and see, because there has to be checks and balances, right? Because when the mind will play game with us, we never know. So we always have to uh, uh, go through our Guru Parampara as well. So that is my take. But Prabhuji, if you want to add. Oh, that might be a tough one. Kids might surprise you sometimes. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for sharing the relation.
My question is that in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is mixed up with Radharani and Krishna. So, who is kinder, Radharani or Krishna?
So this is I first of all, I'll be very upfront. I don't know the answer, but I think Radharani is the more confidential thing. So I don't get too much in detail when I'm trying to talk about Radharani. So I don't talk about Radharani much because it's the most confidential, and I always think that whatever I'll talk about Radharani will be an offense because I don't know about her that much. So I never talk about her. So, but I know I've heard a lot of lectures. They talk different things about it because sometimes they say it can go through Radharani, so Radharani is more merciful. But at the same time, they say Krishna is the supreme. So, but so you can pray to him directly. So that way, maybe he's merciful. So I really don't know the answer to your question. So, but maybe Satyasar Prabhu has an answer.
So mothers are more merciful, isn't it? So hands down, Radharani.
Good. So you got your answer?
I mean, another example is Mahaprabhu. Who is Mahaprabhu? Radha's mode, Radharani's mode, right? So he's the most merciful. So that is a proof. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Oh,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
A very nice class, Prabhuji. Yeah, I have a odd question basically.
You have what,
we,
sorry?
yeah, because we call Nityananda Prabhu Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but when it comes to Advaita Acharya, is the Acharya. I used to always wonder why that difference, or is there any explanation? What makes it Acharya and what makes it makes Prabhu?
I think, but maybe Prabhuji can give a better answer. Acharyas are one who basically meditate on the Vedas and they write their purports and all this kind of stuff. They are preaching, preaching in a way of like their base is Vedas, still about Krishna. But I don't know if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Nityananda Prabhu, they did any purports or they wrote anything, right? But Advaita Acharya, they have a lot of different, they have purports on different Vedic scriptures and whatnot, trying to make it easier for us to understand. But I don't think so. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda did anything similar to that. But that is that just came to my mind. But I might be totally wrong. And also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu came as a devotee form to know how does a devotee feel to experience that rasa, the mood, right? And that's what my take is. But it's a very super technical question, to be honest. But I might be totally wrong. But maybe Satyasar Prabhu might have to have something.
Thank you.
So no questions? No questions? Okay. Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
So as I'm the youngest in this congregation to give a class, and I'm really not qualified. Now you might have known, like I have proven that I'm not qualified to give class here. But if anything I've misspoken, please forgive me, as you will forgive your kids. And if anything, even 0.01% you liked about the class, it all is coming from our acharyas, what they have spoken. And this class was basically structured by Satyasar Prabhu. So he helped me a lot, and thank you. I'm very grateful for that. So thank you so much. And I was just a mic today. All the things have been spoken by our acharyas. I've just taken things from them. Still didn't do a good job, but I am very sorry about that. Sorry. One second.
Prabhu, you're being very humble. The class was very, very amazing.
Doesn't suit me, huh?
Fantastic. Let's give a very big round of applause. That was a really wonderful class, Prabhu. You started with clearly explaining the difference between Krishna and Balram. That was very easy to follow and something I'm sure we all will remember. 2 minutes, kiddos, and I'll be done. You nicely explained, very nice introduction you gave about Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and I really like how you categorized and gave the 4 qualities of Nityananda Prabhu. I noted it down, but I know kids are getting impatient. And nicely you narrated the pastimes of Jagai Madai. And I would like to reiterate the lessons which you learned and which we all also have to learn is forgiveness is the greatest strength, tolerate for higher goal. We need to remember that. And you nicely explained Guru Tattva with respect to the characteristics of a guru and how Nityananda Prabhu has those qualities. Thank you very much, Prabhu. That was an amazing class. We're so grateful to you. I really liked how you also explained the stages of devotion and explained where we are and what types of devotees are there.
Well, I explained where I am.
We understood where we are. So with that, let's thank Prabhu by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra one time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you to everyone for coming today for the celebration. I would also like to thank everyone from all the departments, cleaning, decoration, setup, audio, video, garland, cooking, everything, right? We have so much goes into a celebration, and we have had continuous programs for the last whole week. Literally every day we had a class. So thank you all very much. With that, we conclude the program today. Let us all pray. Shri Nityananda Trayodashi Mahotsav ki jai. Patita Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki. Gaur Premanande. Thank you all, devotees.